He's just sending it all to Sean, so he's expecting the pop right here, I think. You just gonna let this go through? No, there it is. Okay, he had me worried. D-Manny's gonna proliferate. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that seems good. Yeah, if he can just keep proliferating that Myojin, that's insane.
Today on Commander Replay, we check out the new Ezuri with some Simic Proliferate. Next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, there's 2 great ways to support the channel. All links are in the description below.
Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Ezuri Stalker of Spheres today, and today's deck list comes to us from Patreon supporter Jared. No lands in this opener, so we're gonna mulligan into 2 lands. 3 lands. 3 lands seems reasonable. What's this one do? That's a fight card. Maybe not as much like card draw or ramp as I like, but we're Simic. Hopefully we draw into something. There should be plenty of both in this deck. There's a Draga Tree Speaker for opponent. We draw into a Great Henge, which is a fantastic card. Nothing to do on 1 here, so we'll just tap out and pass. But yeah, the Great Henge generates basically every resource you need, so this will solve definitely our card draw issues. It'll help with ramp a little bit, amongst all of the other things that it does. Ooh, that's a spicy one. Mishra's Workshop into Liberator Urza Battlethopter. Opponent upgrades the Draga Tree Speaker. Going for Hexdrinker. Oh, is this more? This level up tribal is what this is. Nice. Bringing it back. Brings back to our turn. There's a land. Lands are good. You have anything to do on 2? Nope. We'll play this thing and we'll crack it and we'll see if we can find something tapped. Rimewood Falls looks good to me. I like that art. Kaldheim was a cool set. Really like Kaldheim. Kind of wish we still did 2 block sets. Would have been nice to stay there for just a little bit. Everything's so quick now. Just 1 set blocks. Don't like it. Battlethopter over to D-Manny. I also thought Eldraine was a really cool plane to be on. I wish we had 2 sets there. And like, yeah, they'll probably revisit these places at some point, but it is just different when they do a revisit versus getting 2 sets up front. Because, I mean, design philosophies change over time, so I don't know. It just like, it's more coherent. It feels more together when you have those older multi-set blocks. Ludevic coming in. Hexdrinker over to Zeno. Yeah, D-Manny's got a good setup going on here. Got ramp with the Tree Speaker. Got some other stuff going. I would love to draw into something to cast on turn 3 here. We actually have nothing to do. This hand is a little slow. They upgrade the Hexdrinker twice. And they draw a card with the Ludevic. Worldly Tutor is something, I guess. Play the Reflecting Pool. And I guess we just Worldly Tutor at the end step and see what we can dig up. I'm thinking something that's going to help us ramp is where we want to be. So here's a look at the deck list. We have like an Oracle Moldiah or something like that. What's this one do? More counters. Land Proliferate. Rishkar seems like a really good idea. That seems like it'll make a lot of mana. What do we got here? Whenever you cast a spell, if the amount of mana to cast the spell is greater than Liberator's power, put a +1/+1 counter on Liberator. It is now a 3/4. And they've got themselves a 5/5 Karn Legacy Reforged. Its power toughness is equal to the greatest mana value among artifacts you control. At the beginning of your upkeep, make a colorless for each artifact you control. This mana can't be spent to cast non-artifact spells. Malkator Purity Overseer coming in. Enters the battlefield, makes a 3/3 Phyrexian Golem. At the beginning of your end step, if 3 or more artifacts enter the battlefield under your control this turn, make a 3/3 Phyrexian Golem. Fun. Gonna upgrade the Hexdrinker more. I'm gonna cast the Worldly Tutor right now so I don't forget. The game is being a little laggy also. Priest of Titania's a very strong card also. There's already an elf out there. Maybe we're going Priest of Titania, just because the Ezuri will be a little bit slow to get going. Yeah, just cranking this Hexdrinker all the way up. They're on 7. 1 more to make it 6/6. Oh, we got 1 more to go. It's on 8 now. It's a 6/6 protection from everything. It's pretty good. Where are we going? Going over to Sean with it. And he'll draw a card at the end step. Well, that's a Nev Disc in play. I mean, how much do you want to run into a Nev Disc? Play the land. I guess we just cast the Priest of Titania, and I don't know. We'll hope that they don't just sit there with the Nev Disc. Though they might. The problem with something like this is that because you can see it, anyone that has a protection spell can like easily just leave the mana up to anticipate you using this. And protection spells have really kind of reshaped the game. One of the big reasons that games are much faster than they used to be. Teferi's Protection in particular, because it's so hard. Like, you basically need 2 spells. You need some sort of instant speed board wipe over the top of the Teferi's. Here's a Wormcoil Engine. Yeah, Mishra's Workshop is very strong. And a Mind Stone. 4/5 over to D-Manny. 6/6 our way. Yeah, it's about time someone hit us. Let's take a read of our commander, by the way. It's Ezuri Stalker of Spheres. 4 mana for a 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, you may pay 3. If you do, proliferate twice. Whenever you proliferate, draw a card. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Obviously, we're doing a proliferate thing today. Lots of +1/+1 counters. We see Herald of Secret Streams. Counters can't be blocked. Tecuthal is a ridiculous card. If you would proliferate, proliferate twice instead. Yeah, that one's kind of crazy. So we talked about Liberator a little bit. We talked about the +1 ability already. It's got flash, flying, and you may cast colorless spells and artifact spells as though they had flash. Pretty good. I've seen Sean mess up the flash part in the past, so he'll want to be playing more at instant speed with his commander in play, and in some sense he's still kind of playing at sorcery speed, thereby reducing the power of his commander, right? If you can do everything at the end step, that is much stronger than doing everything sorcery speed, because you can dodge all of the board wipes, right? Like, you can make perfect decisions and you can avoid opponents' board wipes, and you give them like minimal time to react to stuff. In the middle, we've got Legal Xeno piloting Roon of the Hidden Realm, and it looks like they're doing a golem thing. They've got this Malcator Purity Overseer in play, which makes a bunch of golems, and I assume we'll be seeing many more things that make golems. 6/6 over to Sean. Yeah, I think he's trying to bait him into getting to use the disc. With this board state, I don't think, right? Like, I think you just keep holding it. Like, the 6/6 isn't enough to make you want to pull the trigger when you have this much stuff in play. And so, number one, I love the fact that, like, I've inspired other people to take up the mantle of level up tribal. It was a very silly idea I had for a deck, and actually turned out to be a ton of fun. And D-Manny's kind of ran with it and tried some other variations of the deck to refine it, because it is an extremely difficult deck to make work. That and the other thing, it's just a fun deck to look at. Like, kind of, you get to see a lot of things you don't see normally. But beyond all that, his big challenge is going to be, this deck does not handle board wipes well at all, right? Because you are tying up so much mana and so much resources into your creatures to get them to their highest level that when they get destroyed, it is a problem. Elspeth Resplendent. +1/+1 counter on target creature, and choose from among Flying, First Strike, Lifelink, and Vigilance. They went flying. So yeah, in particular, this River's Rebuke in our hand, if things get bad, they probably can't win if we resolve this. If they don't have a protection spell to defend against it, that's probably lights out for them. Jace the Mind Sculptor, you say? Probably a few too many creatures on this board for Jace. Man, a Brainstorm doesn't sound awful. We don't have any counters on things yet, do we? That's unfortunate. Remove 3 counters from among other artifacts, creatures, and planeswalkers. Yeah, we could use a Jace, couldn't we? I think I'm gonna go for Tecuthal right here. Am I? Jace is basically a 4-mana Brainstorm. Don't know how I feel about that. How much is this thing? Still a lot. How much is this making? Only 2. Let's go for our commander. I don't want to lose Tecuthal yet. Maybe it doesn't make sense to go for our commander. Let's try Tecuthal. It's a flyer. It gives us something, and if we actually do get counters on things at some point, then we'll be able to protect it. Yeah, still not a lot happening for us, so we're gonna pass like that. Also, missing our 5th land drop. Not in love with that. Sean's gonna make some extra mana. Yeah, I guess that maybe that's a reason that'll have him. Ooh, yeah, that's a lot of mana to do things, so that'll be part of the reason he's doing stuff at sorcery speed. But with this, yeah, you should play as much as you can at instant speed. Scrap Trawler, Nettle Cyst, Living Weapon. Wow, big attack into D-Manny. Those two just out for blood on each other. It's good for us because we have a super slow start, so let them tangle with each other for a little bit. Blocks the Battlethopter, though if Sean has something instant speed, he could pump it enough to kill the Ludevic, but he does not. D-Manny down to 16. Yeah, the artifact deck is really kind of come out screaming. We might need to River's Rebuke on them. Yeah, there are plenty of low drops in this deck. We've just managed to not draw any of them. Been kind of a thing. Mirari's Wake is a good card. D-Manny's gonna need some interaction. Cannot keep taking punishment at the rate that he's taking punishment. D-Manny, by the way, is piloting his Sidar, Kondo of Jamora, and Ludevic Necro Alchemist level up tribal deck, which we've talked about a bit already. Tons of abilities on these two. I'm not sure. I guess that removes blocking tokens, but he's probably using Sidar more for colors than anything, I'm guessing. Ludevic is helpful for the card draw, because you need a lot of resources with this deck. And the deck does actually have, like, cheap creatures that come out quickly, which is nice. What are we putting on Ludevic? Lifelink now. Yeah, reasonable, given the circumstances. Hour of Promise. Oh man, could I go for an Hour of Promise? Love to get 2 lands in. Cultivate would be a sight for sore eyes, though late to the party. We got a Chancery and Wara Soaring City. see. It doesn't do much. Oh, they can pick it up with the thing. Oh, yeah, they pick it up with the thing. I didn't see what it did, but we'll probably see that channel ability at some point. Actually, I could probably check game log here. Nope, doesn't want to show me the card. Frustrating. Small poke into Xeno. Try to gain some life back. Demani's got a Gaia Reach Sanitarium. I wouldn't be opposed to that. Ugin is a magic card. Ugin does not do much against the artifacts. Ugin is normally a better magic card than how it's looking on this board state. I think the play here is going to be Jace. I really want to go plus mode on Jace, but I'll tap the 1/1, I guess. Yeah, I thought about plussing Jace, but because we didn't catch a land here, I think we have to brainstorm. We have cards that just aren't doing anything in our hand right now. Brainstorm. Because with the plus, we could theoretically... Oh, wow, still no lands? Rough. All right, we gotta put cards back on top. Eek, really? Contagion Engine is a long ways from being good. Ugin really doesn't solve many of our problems. This is unfortunate. Next turn is probably Eternal Witness for land. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Pass the turn. I guess... this is... We could try to draw another card, but we know what's on top. It's an Ugin, which doesn't really... We know our top cards. Brainstorming without the fetch? Not the best. I guess we could also... Well, it depends on what happens with this Nev disc. But no one's... Sean's got the leading board state, so the Nev disc is not probably going to be his first priority until people start showing more threats or until, like, someone throws a removal spell at it and forces them to use it. Anyway, I wanted to plus the Jace because that would give us the 3 counters we need to make this indestructible, and potentially, if the Nev disc goes off, also be able to keep the Jace in play. Ugh, Commander's Plate on a colorless commander? Gross. Protection from all colors, 7/8 flying. Well, so much for blocking. That River's Rebuke is probably going to have to happen very soon. Thing onto the Nettle Cyst? Yeah, okay, well, I mean, that basically all but seals it. Gonna have to be the River's Rebuke. This will be, I believe, a lethal hit into D-Manny. Unless he's got a fog or something. Oh, Atwara is colorless. Return target artifact, creature, enchantment, or planeswalker to its owner's hand. Okay. D-Manny buying himself some time right here. Buying all of us time, perhaps. Urza back to play. That was a nice play with the Hour of Promise, picking up the Atwara. And the thing's back on the Battlethopter. Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to have to be River's Rebuke, which is unfortunate because it looks like we're going to miss another land drop unless we can figure some things out here. Wouldn't be sad to see another elf show up into play. What does the Truth and Justice do for us? Haven't thought about that play yet. Put a counter on Tecuthal, up the Jace. One thing to think about, if we River's Rebuke, the Nevzisk play looks more enticing from Sean. We got the Regenerate Golem guy, Splicer. Please be an elf. Not an elf. Really need more elves in play. Yeah, we just had such a bad opener. I didn't realize that it was like we had nothing to do before turn 4. It's not great. You know, I wonder... I still don't think the 6/6 is enough to get Sean to crack the thing. He's at 34. Well, we'd proliferate twice with the sword. That is a thing to think about. Evolution Sage. Gonna look at the top 3, put a permanent with mana value 3 or less onto the battlefield with a shield counter, rest on the bottom. It's probably the looking for answers mode. They hit the Spy Patrol. Nice. Ooh, Cankerbloom is a good card. That can blow up the Commander's Plate or the Nettle Cyst, which can solve a lot of problems. Sean cracks the Mind Stone. And he's gonna shoot the Commander's Plate straight away. Means that we can at least block. I like that. Ooh, Staff of Completion. Nice. Yeah, obviously the Proliferate makes a ton of sense for what he's doing. We can make this indestructible, but I'm not thrilled about the idea of eating our Jace to do it. I thought about using this Infectious Bite to shoot the Battlethopter, but I think that would just make him annoyed. More so than actually being effective. Yeah, Ugin's back. I don't really want to, like, shuffle away the Ugin. Might have to. Brainstorm again. There's a land. Oh, thank God. And a Farseek. Contagion Engine we are so far away from. Infectious Bite. Just don't feel like Infectious Bite's going to get that much done. So I think this is the we need to shuffle turn. How many islands do we need for this to come untapped? 3 or more islands. We have 1, 2. That is unfortunate. Well, I mean, we still got to play it. So play the Mystic Sanctuary. Play... we're 1 short. Frustrating. Play the Farseek. Shuffle away those things we don't need. Get a land. We'll get a breeding pool. Oh, we went Farseek first. We could have got the thing in untapped. And that'd be, yeah, that would be 5 mana. 2, 3, 4 to equip the sword and do the thing with the sword. That being the case, I'm just going to get the Eternal Witness right here. Oh, we get 3 off that? There's another elf in play? Okay, we can still do the sword thing then. Let's do the sword thing. The sword thing does, however, mean that we won't have mana to protect Tecuthal. Equip the sword. So... This holds off a lot. That has protection from everything. I'm going to hit with it because we can also draw a card. Too much incentive to not attack. We'll probably lose Jace. Hopefully nothing comes down here. We hit, and we're finally going to get some value going. Put a plus counter on Tecuthal, and then we can proliferate the Jace, the Tecuthal. Sure, that can have one. How far away is... Probably shouldn't proliferate the Planeswalker. Proliferate again! Do the Jace again. Do Tecuthal. That seems fine. Actually, we'll do the Ludevic. Maybe we buy a little goodwill. We'll see what happens. Techuthal's pretty big now, but we don't have the mana up to protect it, which is disappointing. But we do get to draw the card, so finally getting some value going this turn, which is put the shields down a little bit, but we did get a lot of counters, so we can kind of do some stuff. We're going to draw a card, which is important, especially after the shuffle. Guardian Project could be helpful. Depending on what Sean does here, the board is starting to tilt out of his favor a little bit. Which, well, maybe not. There's a force field. Oh, God. Well, gonna be tough to get damage through. Nettle Cyst onto the Worm Coil. Yep. I figure someone's gonna pick off this Jace at some point because it's just wide open. But this is not an unreasonable spot to do it because him and D-Manny have kind of had a thing going back and forth for a while. And if they're trying to, like, back off of each other, then Jace is just such a good target to send it at. Battlethopter over to Xeno. So he's just trying to put the wall up. I mean, that's a lot of damage to not attack with. Especially a lot of life gain to not. Yeah, on the other hand, I mean, this has protection from everything, so this can kind of just go wherever it wants to. Brago coming in. Oh, that'll be pretty good with the splicers. Sending the Malcator into our face. Down to 31. D-Man is going to proliferate with the staff, yeah. He does have to be careful because his life total is low from all the attacks from Sean. Hey! He proliferated our stuff. Nice. Returning the favor. We actually have some options open to us this turn. Well, we got to get through D-Manny's turn. We'll see if the Jace is still up. Probably less options if the Jace goes down. But we could think about Great Henge and then trying to follow up with some creatures. Isn't a terrible idea. We could think about getting Ezuri and trying to get that sword trigger, although opponent did say that they let the sword trigger go through, which means they do have removal for it if it starts to look bad for them. So maybe that's less good, but in theory, could draw a lot of cards with the double proliferate. At some point, I'd like to leave the mana up to actually be able to use the indestructible mode on this thing, because that'll be important. He's going to put the Jace down to 1. Reasonable. We can just stay in the brainstorm mode. I'm fine with that. And they're going to poke us with the 1/1. Seems fine. Down to 30. Jace down to 1. Ooh, Myojin of the Blooming Dawn. Which one is this? Indestructible counter. Remove it. Create a 1/1 colorless spirit for each token, creature token for each permanent you control. That seems pretty good. That can make a lot of things. And they will do the look at the top mode with Elspeth again. That's a land and a proliferate for them. Proliferates our stuff. At least our Jace anyway. Back to our turn. Simic Ascendancy. Honestly, I was just kind of hoping on a land. Back to the Brainstorm. Brainstorm again. Oh, man. Land's not coming. Which one's this? Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Proliferate. That's actually not awful. Ugin back on top. Each opponent gets a poison counter. Draw a card. Also not the worst thing I've seen. We'll put that one back on top also. So I think the play here is going to be the Great Henge. This is the type of turn that might get the Nevdis going. Tap the Great Henge, use the Eternal Witness. I think we're going to end up shuffling away the Ugin, which I didn't really want to do, but actually, no, we have one more card draw. Will we get it back? Get the Verdant Catacombs. There's the thingy. Use the ability. Yeah, I don't love it, but we're going to shuffle the Ugin away. Get a Forest. What's next? Let's just see how Sean reacts if we send the Tecuthal. I assume he'll force field. Well, if we do that, probably want to have more creatures in first. What's this one do? Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you may pay 2 if you do proliferate. That seems pretty good. Maybe it's time for our commander. Yeah, well, we'll probably have to discard a bunch. Yeah, I think let's see. This will be 6, 7. That doesn't leave up Tecuthal mana. Maybe not. Yeah, let's go on the attack and just see how they respond here. Send this one into Sean. Yeah, he's going to use the force field on it. There's the sword trigger. Counter on the priest this time. And then we can proliferate a bunch. Proliferate all of our stuff. Do it again. Oh, I forgot the elf. Whoops. D-Manny's thing is back on 5. We might see the ultimate. That ultimate might be needed to get through the force field. We'll see. Okay, what's next? We're going to draw a card at the end step, which will put us up to 8, so we should, probably get something out of our hand. That'll keep us at the same number of cards. Yeah, we're probably just going to have to discard, but we'll play this Toxic guy. That one's a sorcery. This one's an instant. Great Henge. We finally draw a land, which we've rarely done this game. We will end up drawing another card in a second. We'll take the extra card because we can kind of loot. Oh, Deep Glow Skate is a magic card. We can discard the Guardian Project for now because we have the card draw already with the Great Henge, and this thing can get a permanent back, so if we end up needing it back, we can just use this. Because now the problem is like just getting cards out of our hand, having the mana to cast them. We don't need that much card draw. I do think we're inching into Nevdisk territory though, especially like if D-Manny activates this thing twice. He's got 2 counters on it. Yeah, I didn't want to proliferate that one. Proliferate with the Myojin cycle, pretty cool. I got to proliferate Roaring Blades and Ashling one time, and that's a lot of direct damage to throw at things. Very exciting, very fun. That should be a deck. Myojin proliferates. 2-3 over to D-Manny's Planeswalker. Wormcoil into Xeno, 6-6 into our Jace. Big one into, this looks like the, yeah, this looks like the Nevdisk play. Opponent's gonna start regenerating golems. That's fair. I'm gonna take this time to make Tekuthal indestructible. We'll just remove the counters from Jace since Jace is likely going to die. Actually, hopefully they don't respond to this trigger. Probably, maybe I should have waited. I guess we could do it again if we really had to. One's gonna block the Wormcoil. Gonna block the 3/2. We'll try to block. Yeah, actually, we should try to block the Jace. We'll block the Jace with this toxic guy because if Jace survives even at 1, well, let's see what else is gonna survive. This is gonna survive because it's indestructible. There's a chance Jace survives, but there's still some stuff that again. Actually, a lot of the golems will survive too. So someone will probably pick off Jace, but. Scrap Trawler goes down, our Toxic guy goes down, getting back the Mind Stone. Yeah, not awful, he needs cards. The Ozolith, is he not gonna blow it here? Cracks the Mind Stone, has a lot of extra mana that he passes with. Oh man, Prologue to Phyresis? Kinda seems ridiculous. Like, we cast this, put a poison counter on everyone. We proliferate a time or 2 with other stuff. Tekuthal's in, so it'll proliferate twice. And then, I don't know, when they're at like 5, Deep Glow Skate? Oh, it's permanents only, not players. Okay. Still, if we have double proliferate, we'll be able to poison people out really quickly with this thing. We're in an interesting spot now where people have kind of played around the Nevdisk a little bit with the regenerating golems and the fact that this thing's indestructible and can make a ton of tokens at instant speed. What are we on now? This is Darksteel Splicer. Golems have indestructible. Oh, yeah, that's how you play around the Nevdisk. And there's a bunch of them now. Conjurer's Closet. Oh, this board's getting weird now. What do they want to do with a bunch of indestructible 4/4s? Brago over to Sean. That's it. Force Field. The 1 damage is good enough for the Brago, though. D-Manny's gonna proliferate. Oh, not the Myojin. The Myojin's the one that I'm legitimately worried about. That can make a lot of stuff. Proliferates our stuff, though. Yep, blinks all of the splicers. Darksteel Splicer is gonna make 3 at a time. That seems good. The board's getting kind of silly now. And there's a Conjurer's Closet, so they can do it again. This is gonna be a lot. D-Manny's gonna activate the Myojin of the Blooming Dawn. Yep. Xeno says, woo, I'm the threat now. Yeah, that's a lot of indestructible 4/4s. Both of their boards are going to surpass ours by quite a bit. For us, I think it's really going to be about trying to poison everyone with this. We don't really have the tools to get through these board states. Ludevic, Melkater, and oh god, more Myojin triggers. I guess on the other hand, I mean, we don't have tons of damage in play. We have a little bit, but this makes our stuff unblockable, which is theoretically a way through if we wanted to get there with combat. Oh my god. This might just get us all killed, though. That is a lot of 1/1s. Well, the 1/1s aren't indestructible. Sean should be popping that now. Well, maybe not. If he pops it now, D-Manny can respond by... No, yeah, I think he should pop it now. I guess you could wait till combat. Telling Sean, if you're planning to pop, I wouldn't wait for Teferi's mana to... Well, he's untapped. That's what, like 50 1/1s? We can block 2. Sean says, I see dead people. Yeah. Question is, will anyone survive? He's just sending it all to Sean, so he's expecting the pop right here, I think. Oh, changes his mind. Yeah, it just goes all into Sean, leaves a couple blockers. There you go. You gain 1 life for each colorless creature you control. Okay. Gains a little life. Up to 42. You just gonna let this go through? No, there it is. Okay, he had me worried. D-Manny's gonna proliferate. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that seems good. Yeah, if he can just keep proliferating that Myojin, that's insane. A thought that I just had was River's Rebuke, get it back, do it again? Valakut Awakening. Looking for answers. I'll actually be pretty annoyed if he finds one. Kind of talked about this with the protection spells. Like, if you're going to pop that, you got to do it before they untap. They do not. Many things get blown up. I don't know why they cast the Ozolith if they were planning to do all that, but there are still many golems left in play. This, oh, thank God the staff went down. Staff of Completion's down, so they can't just, like, there's probably more proliferate in the deck, but they can't just do it at will. We still have Jace and Tekuthal left. We can get some things done with that. Our mana is going to be much worse without the priest, though. Part of me is also thinking about getting the sword back, because we get the sword and we proliferate, and then we do this thing, and this thing does that twice. That's a lot of proliferating. We are hamstrung on mana, though. Yep, proliferates this thing again. So the problem is, D-Manny will be able to rebuild a big board state with, no, is he down to 1? If there's only 1, it's not so bad. Levels up the thing. That's just, there's another land for us. Play the strip mine. Alright, Xeno agrees to no ataxies if we don't blow up their board. Love it. Which means we can start doing other stuff then. Let's brainstorm. Oh, Kodama's Reach, finally. Fathom Mage seems good. Put this thing back. Don't need the land in this moment. Let's Kodama's Reach. Get a forest. Oh, and an island. One into play tap. Then draw a card. That Contagion Engine's back. I really didn't want that one. We don't have the mana for it at all. Let's get back the Truth and Justice into our hand. I'll proliferate Jace, our thing. D-Manny's Planeswalker. And we'll do it again. Oh, I forgot to do the players. Whoops. So everyone's on 2 poison. And we'll pass like that. Oh, I have really mixed feelings on this Contagion Engine. Minus counter on each 4 to proliferate. So it'll be 10 to proliferate twice. It's probably better than the Drake. I think we can get rid of the Drake. Urza Saga. Key to the City. Liberator. This can't be blocked. Opponent's trying to loot. This can get interesting because D-Manny can also produce a lot of blockers. Sean's at 42, so it's going to take like a good chunk to get through him. I'd probably go D-Manny here. Just send it all. Because Sean doesn't have like a big board state. We don't. We have this thing when it's flying though. We've just kind of been chilling. So yeah, I think I would send it all into D-Manny and force him to use this. Because it's just going to be tough to get through that. Especially if he can keep proliferating it. Although, this is on 7 now, so we're probably going to see the ultimate from this. Xeno says he's doing the math right now on D-Manny. Yep. I think that's the play you got to make right here, because he's doing... This is scary in that attack. See what D-Manny's got. He's got tricks. Return target non-land permanent. Proliferate. Oh, yeah, he's going to do it twice. So what's crazy about that, when you can do it multiple times, is that you make all the spirits, and then you double up. Like, by making the spirits, you double up the number of permanents you have, and then you double that up again. That's like a lot. The good news is, though, they are 1/1s, and he will have to block with a lot of them, so even if they don't die, basically he's probably gonna have to use all of his resources here. Like, the most ideal thing is that he runs out of the divinity counters, because then he can't keep proliferating them. Okay, he's gonna double it up, so I think that's the end of the divinity counters. So he made, what, 12 tokens right there, so what, 24 on this next one? Yeah, that's a lot of tokens. But there's, what, like 20 coming in, so he's gonna have to block most of them. Opponent puts this on 2. Here come the blocks. So D-Manny soaks up all the damage, but loses many tokens, so he's got about 21 ones left, which is scary, but it's better than the, what, 40 or so that he had a second ago, because the 40 can definitely kill at least a player, if not more than that. With this, it's kind of like he could turn everything sideways into Xeno, but probably doesn't have a ton left after that. If D-Manny eliminated Xeno, that would probably make life a lot easier for us, because then we could just Rivers Rebuke, and that'd be a pretty easy way to clean things up, and then, like, we could get in with this, and then Sean might finish him if it gets down to that. Titania's Command. Exile target player's graveyard. You gain 1 life. Okay. Each card exiled this way. There's a bunch in our graveyard. It goes up to 27. Oh, these are all 3/3s now. That's bad. Can we survive this? Oh. Did he save a... He saved a divinity counter, didn't he? Move a counter from target permanent you control to another. Ooh. I mean, if we survive, it's got to be Rivers Rebuke now. Luckily, everyone's still kind of on high life total, so that doesn't make it, like, super easy to figure out where you got to send everything to kill everyone. But he's going for Xeno first. That's good. Still probably... It's going to be close. Sean's at 42. Probably not going to get Sean. He's got about 8 left. Could kill us if he sent everything. Oh, I think this thing's unblockable. Yeah. Bunch into Sean. Okay, bunch into Sean. Alright, so we should be okay then. We both have indestructible flyers, so he's probably just going to hold that back because they kind of bounce on each other. Yeah, big attack. Who's got tricks? The colorless deck probably does not. The Bant deck might. Plenty of things that you could have in Bant. A Fog, Teferi's, Comeuppance, Settle. All kinds of good stuff. Aetherize. Probably the 3 best colors for defending someone attacking you really big. Fracturing Gust. Destroy all artifacts and enchantments. You gain 2 life for each permanent destroyed this way. He goes up to 74. Blows up all of his golems. I don't think we lost anything in there, so I think we're good. D-Manny did not lose anything. But he'll survive the attack now. This game is just going to keep going. The counters are a problem because the plus counter actually negates the minus counter. So yeah, it's just got to be River's Rebuke for that. See who's left. Sean's at 14, Zeno's at 44. D-Manny, oh, he's got the fairies mana. Well, just going to have to hope he doesn't have it. Let's start with the Brainstorm. Blighted Agent, don't really need. What's this one do? Oh, that's the wild one. Put that back on top. I don't think we need the Simic Ascendancy right now. Play the land. Play the River's Rebuke and hope this gets through. Finally, the board looks in a way where this is useful. Multiple players were very strong, but like, I mean, it's such a weird card. Like, it's very powerful, but there were many points in the game where if we played it, it's basically just a death sentence for that player, but doesn't necessarily solve the other problems that we need to deal with. So that's kind of why I've been holding off on it. Let's play the elf. Actually, maybe play this one first. Oh, no. Yeah, we'll just play the Fathom Mage. We'll poke D-Manny with the big guy. Fracturing Gust. Fracturing Gust is disgusting against most of my decks because I play a lot of artifacts. D-Manny down to 16. We'll pass like that. Liberator back to play. Luckily, people haven't really been ramping this game. Like, people are all behind. Now, D-Manny might be even with the turn count, but most people are less than the turn count on lands, so it's hard to rebuild after multiple layers of board wipe when that's the case. Also, low on cards, too. D-Manny's got 11 lands, so he's one ahead. Legion Loyalty. Well, that would have been disgusting with all the tokens. Sean says, amusing as it might be to Warping Well Your Rebuke, wouldn't have done that. In paper, he said he'd have to. Yeah. I mean, the problem is he dies too, right? If that's the case. Good old Warping Well. I've tried to make it work for a long time, and it's just like getting to the right situation, like, because you don't want to draw it early. You want to draw it late for exactly the situation you need it, and it's like not that great at any moment other than that point in time. The Myojin is back. Elspeth is back. Probably going to give it flying. We'll have 11 mana this turn. What do we do with it? The Simic Ascendancy is back. Play the land. Proliferating twice seems very strong. Let's do that. Put this one on the bottom. Evolve on top. Dissolve the Evolve. We get to draw a card. Use the ability. Blighted Agent is back. We're going to pay the 3. Start the proliferating. We draw more cards. We proliferate more first. And then we proliferate more. And then we proliferate more. Man, if I cast the Mana Dork last turn, we could also get the sword. I think we got them all. And then we will draw many cards. Each player gets a poison counter. Oh, that's helpful for our current state. Ugin's back. I think we just bounced this guy. Oh my god, is he going to survive? Oh, we have the Fathom Mage. Oh, he's going to do the thing right. Oh, they don't have flying, though, so I think he'll survive at 1. Unless we can proliferate again. I guess Sean could get there with the 1-2. Yeah, I guess that's what the play is. Yep, blocks 1. Oh, he's going to kill the Fathom Mage? Yeah. Well, if that's the case, maybe we play the Teferi and then try to get this Jace all the way up. He survives at 1. Not the best. We can loot a card, discard a land. We need to discard many more things. And we pass like that. Activates Makokoro. Sean's going to send the Liberator into D-Manny. This game is getting long, and D-Manny will just keep making many more tokens. Now, he's the one player that can really kind of challenge us a little bit, though without haste, he might have some trouble. We're going to plus with the Fairy. Hardened Scales. Where's that been all game? D-Manny finally goes down. Player finally leaving on turn 11. Slow game. Urza, Prince of Krug coming in. We'll activate the Fairy in response. I feel okay without Hardened Scales. We have exactly enough to go poison counter here, proliferate twice. The Contagion Engine should do it. Return all non-land permanents with mana value X or less to their owner's hand. That looks nasty. Yeah, let's just go for the Contagion Engine. Try to get this game over with. Been going on. Just about 2 hours old. Opponent gets the minus counters. And we'll proliferate 4 times. As long as we don't mess this up, should be good. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. 10 poison counters for 2 of our opponents, finally getting this game over with. Oh yeah, he had some big stuff up there. He ran out of mana after his Karn went down. I don't think this is really a representative game of the deck. We just drew all the slowest stuff and nothing to do early, which wasn't great. It took us a while to really get into it, but based on some deals we made, we were able to kind of get there. Opponents left our Jace alone. We would have just been like dead in the water if that died, because we were not drawing lands for a very long time. Overall, I like the deck. There's a lot of neat little pieces in here. Astral Cornucopia, always good for these type of decks. We got the Everflowing Chalice as well. You might want to think about the Staff of Completion. It's another source of proliferate. It's pretty easy to do. It's probably better than like the Drake's okay, but you really need a lot of mana for it. Yeah, overall, I liked it. I don't know that I would change a ton. Maybe I might give the ramp and the card draw a count. The card draw was okay. we had multiple card draw pieces, but the ramp was pretty tough in the early going there. And I guess like we missed all of the 1-drops, which, you know, isn't going to help you in that regard. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.